Mary was the Ark of the Covenant. I had no idea. Saw a guy do a video on this yesterday, and I was like, excuse me? So, turns out the parallels between King David, the Ark of the Covenant, going and taking the Ark into the hills of Judah, like Mary going into the hills of Judah, the Ark being placed inside a Levite's house for 3 months. How long did Mary stay with Elizabeth and her husband, who were both Levite? That was 3 months. I'm going to link the guy's video in the comments, but what I want to draw your attention to is the 3 items that were in the Ark of the Covenant. The manna from heaven, the tablets, and Aaron's rod. What? Remember this series? Click the link below if you don't, that he did on Aaron's rod? The story keeps getting deeper. First, a quick rundown. We got the cloud overshadowing the tabernacle, yeah? Then that happened right here when the angel's telling Mary, the power of the highest shall overshadow thee. 3 months, the Ark of the Covenant that David brought into the hillside of Judah stays inside the Levite's house. That's right, the Ark went into the hill country, into a city of Judah, and it entered into the house of Zacharias and Elizabeth, the Levitical line. Remembering that Jesus also descends from the Levitical line of Aaron through his mother's side. But this is fun. And the babe leapt in her womb, John the Baptist, and David danced before the Lord with all his might, which means John the Baptist was dancing in Elizabeth's womb. So back to what the ark held. The manna, the bread from heaven. What is Jesus? The bread of life from heaven. The 10 Commandments. And that's right, Jesus fulfilled the law, yeah? And Aaron's rod. Aaron's rod represents Jesus. I did a whole series on it. I was like, whoa. Not only did it represent like the priesthood, which Jesus also descends from, but the rod itself throughout from Egypt all the way up until it gets into the ark. So the ark housed Jesus. It held God, right? It's God's power on earth. Jesus is God on earth. What? So the Ark of the Covenant was in the first temple, and you wondered why the Ark of the Covenant wasn't in the second temple? Well, it technically kind of was. So Mary being the Ark may or may not have been in the second temple. I'm sure she did on her way from Nazareth to Bethlehem. Also, let me point something out. David brought the Ark of the Covenant back to the city of David. What is the city of David? Bethlehem. And Mary brought the Ark herself to Bethlehem, the city of David, to be counted in the census. But anyways, so whether she was in the second temple or not, what was in the Ark of the Covenant, Jesus, was in the second temple. So if you're wondering why the Ark of the Covenant doesn't appear anymore after it appears in the first temple, then it just vanishes, right? When the temple is destroyed. Because Jesus was in the second temple.